Welcome to another episode of Nintendo News Daily. I'm your host, N64 Josh. We got a lot to talk about in this one. We're going to kind of just real quick cover a handful of headlines today, and then we're going to talk about Metroid Prime 4 Beyond for just a little bit because I feel like it has finally started the marketing cycle. I know I don't quite sound like myself. I feel like my voice is this close to just completely giving out on me. So do bear with me as I'm a bit under the weather. But we are here. We're going to talk news. We're going to talk Metroid. I want to let you guys know, if you're not following me on YouTube, you're not subscribed on YouTube, please go do that. I'm putting out so much content over there and having such a great time with it, especially shorts, having such a good time with it. In fact, we're going to be using shorts to add more to the podcast. I'm going to be reading some comments on my last video for Metroid today. So that's going to be kind of fun as well. So it just kind of allows you to be in the conversation even more by being in the comment section over on the YouTube Shorts. Lastly, I want to let people know too that if you subscribe on Spotify, Apple, or even on YouTube, like become a member on YouTube, $4.99 a month, you get all of the, at least on Spotify and Apple, you get all of the shows ad-free, and then you're going to be getting an exclusive episode each week, and that's happening on YouTube as well. So I don't think the membership takes out ads on YouTube. I have no control over that, but as far as the ads that play at the beginning and whatnot. So there you go, though. If you want to not have to listen to ads and help support this show, I greatly appreciate it. For everybody that already does sub, you're the best. I really, really do appreciate you. And make sure you're checking out the exclusive episodes as well, which are very Nintendo history related, if you're wondering. They're very much Nintendo history and diving into different people in the past. So we're gonna deep dive into Gunpei Yokoi this week, and he is the creator of the Game Boy, unfortunately the Virtual Boy, and but also played a huge role in all kinds of releases for Nintendo. So super cool stuff there. We're going to be diving into that this week as the exclusive episode. Let's jump into the news, shall we? First up, we are over on My Nintendo News, and the headline reads, U.S. Circana says digital is accelerating on Nintendo Switch. And this is not going to be great news for your physical game collectors. Circana analyst Matt Piscatella has discussed the unfortunate demise of physical video game publishing with an emphasis on digital purchases. Piscatella says that Nintendo is the last of the physical forward publishers, but new data shows that the Nintendo Switch 2 digital sales are accelerating more so than they did on the original Switch system. Nintendo is the last remaining of the physical forward publishers and even they are starting to make that flip, at least in the US. Other parts of the world may be different. Nintendo still maintains a physical focus and retailer focus, as where other manufacturers have kind of effectively or nearly effectively moved on to a great degree. There's that dedicated buyer that loves physical, but like you said, that mix is continuing to shift. And with the most recent Switch model, we are seeing the shift happening a little bit faster, even on Nintendo. And I'm honestly not surprised by this. And I was kind of thinking about this today, like while I was getting my coffee, and what, when it came to music, right? Like if you go way back, you had records, then you had 8 tracks, then you had cassette tapes, and then compact disc. And then we moved into like MP3s, right? And then vinyl came back, and you can still get a vinyl, like, or a record player, like on Amazon right now, like super easy to do. I don't know, like, if it's going to be the same for gaming, right? And it's really not the same. Like, you can go and get DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff like that still, but they're fewer and far between. but they are still available. They haven't completely gone away. But when it comes to games, like, I guess if you have a dedicated, is there going to be like dedicated systems like the Retron 5, if you will, and then you see the periodic like physical release, like it's happening right now with an angry video game nerd and his 8-bit game is coming to NES. If you have an NES or, a game console that can play NES games, well, then you can still enjoy that physical media. But it takes 25 years for these things to become available to redistribute, right? And so we're talking what, 17 years before you could see a console that could play Switch cartridges. It's a long ways away. And so I'm just curious what's going to happen with games, if there's going to end up being like a company like limited run that ends up, still doing physical media. Are we going to get to a point where we, like with the angry video game nerds got this 8-bit game coming out? The best case scenario for me, if I really wanted that game in my collection, is I would buy the physical with hopes that it would come with a digital game, and maybe it does. I don't know. I'm not looking at that right now. But then going forward, that's kind of how physical media still works. You can get the cart, but then get the digital copy with it as well. And that's what Blu-ray did. For the longest time, I bought physical because it came with the digital. It felt like a better value. If I wanted to put the disc in, I could. But if I wanted to take Amazon Prime on my phone or whatever and then watch the movie that I had redeemed, I was able to do that. And I do kind of wonder if that wouldn't be a better route right now for these gaming companies, because they don't lose anything by giving that digital copy away, unless you do have people like, I remember, Wario 64 would be like, here's a free copy of whatever, because he just got the movie and then it had the free digital copy. So I don't know. I don't know if that works quite as well, because there could be money lost at that point. Maybe they tie it to that cart in a way, but then you still have to put the cart in. So I don't know what the perfect solution is. I just know that there's a lot of physical collectors out there that don't want to see physical games go away. I don't want to see physical games go away. I like seeing them displayed, but I also like the ease of use of digital. Like, there's no question about that. Like, even yesterday we went to go play Animal Crossing, and I asked Jasmine, I'm like, where's your, like, I went to go start her game up to get it set up for her, and I had to go find her physical. I had to go find the cart, right? She didn't have it digitally. Not a bad thing, but I've gotten very much in the habit of having almost everything digitally on my Switch 2 at this point. I'm sure some of you have some very strong opinions about this. So if you're on Spotify or YouTube, leave some comments. I will read them in tomorrow's episode. If you guys leave comments on Spotify and YouTube on this episode, I really want to get in the habit of having a section, and we're going to do it tonight, a section where I just go through comments and respond to them and really get you guys involved in the conversation this way. So let me know how you're feeling about the move to digital, and hearing the news that even less people are buying physical now. And part of that could be because of key cards too, right? That could be a factor in all this. Well, this next headline kind of had me laughing. It says a Defiant streamer has to pay out $17,500 in damages to Nintendo. The article's super short. It says the Defiant streamer who played pirated copies of Nintendo games before their official release has been ordered to pay Nintendo $17,500 in damages. It looks like Jesse Kynan, maybe? I'm not sure how to say his last name. It says, AKA Every Game Guru, taunted Nintendo lawyers, telling them, you might run a corporation, I run the streets. What in the world? And said that they should have done more research before taking him on, the gamer wrote on Facebook. Jesse reportedly destroyed evidence and evaded Nintendo's attempts to serve him personally. However, it wasn't a complete win from Nintendo, as the company's demand to destroy all circumvention devices was rejected as unclear and unreasonable, as these were software applications available online. Interesting. So interesting. You might run a corporation, but I run the streets. Delusional. Like absolutely delusional. Like any lawyer is going to be like, okay, buddy, run these streets right into the court. Like what? And I've always wondered like you see some of these games getting played like a week or two in advance, and it's like you're gonna get caught. You're gonna get caught. I remember walking into Best Buy and they had Xenoblade for sale like 2 weeks before it was supposed to be out, and I'm like, I literally told them, I'm like, you guys are breaking street date. I went back in a couple days later and they had more out on the floor, on the show floor, and I'm like, what are you guys doing here? Like, and then I tried. I mean, I'm like, okay, let's see if it'll work. They couldn't sell it to me. The system was like, no, it's street dated, but they still put them out on the floor. Like, just so wild. But yeah, so he's got to pay 17,500. I don't know. I don't know if he's really running those streets, having to pay that back. You guys have to let me know. Well, Resident Evil has a Pro Controller coming out for the Switch 2. It's available to pre-order, but according to Nintendo Life, the price is terrifying. So it says, shortly following its official announcement, the Resident Evil Pro Controller for Switch 2 has become available to pre-order. So if you're really keen on picking this up, you might want to get moving before it's sold out. Something's telling us, however, this might not happen because, good Lord, it is expensive. Pre-orders are available in the UK at an eye-watering $83.99 via the My Nintendo store, which is even more expensive than a regular Pro Controller, which is $74.99. Over on the US, meanwhile, Best Buy is currently offering pre-orders for $99.99. We're looking at a $100 controller. The price tag for the bog standard Pro Controller over in the States is $89.99. So $10 more. You get this Resident Evil, looks like a newspaper article kind of plastered over the controller. I'm here for it. Like, Capcom and Nintendo seem to have a fantastic relationship. They continue to have a great relationship. There's 2 different Monster Hunter Pro controllers. And so bring it on. Like, I want to see more special edition stuff. It feels like the Switch 2 is not focused all that much on special edition stuff. And I'm not quite sure why. I feel like it would move units, but maybe they're really going to like go a year or longer, maybe 2, before they start, pushing for special edition stuff. Again, kind of confused on why that is the case, but we do see a Pro Controller here. At the very least, I would have loved to have seen a Mario Kart World Pro Controller. I would have loved to have seen a console. We just had Pokemon launch. I saw one in the wild, one of the consoles. It's not a special edition console. It's just the same console that's out and about with a little bit of printing on the cardboard box. And I do find it a bit strange following the Switch. And I don't know the logistics of all of it, so maybe there's some good reasoning behind it. I just don't know what it is. The special edition stuff is cool. In some cases, people can double dip. Maybe they're thinking, hey, we don't want people buying out of just strictly FOMO. But at the same time, like, they're very much a business. They love it when people buy things twice, right? So I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure why we're seeing no special edition consoles yet, and 0 for. I mean, could you imagine a yellow Donkey Kong Bonanza looking like a banana, just like they did on the 64? Not quite that extravagant, maybe, but like, who wouldn't want a Bonanza Pro Controller? Now, maybe some of this has to do with the tariffs and all this other stuff. I don't know. But I do like seeing this. I know I've seen a lot of people not speaking very highly of it. And the other Pro Controller special editions, in some cases, I believe were more money. We even got, I have a Xenoblade Chronicles, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 special edition controller, the Smash special edition Pro Controller, which looked fantastic. So I love these Pro Controllers. They are more expensive. There's no question there. I just hope we continue to see more of them. Speaking of companies that like money, Pokemon TCG Pocket pulled in almost 1.3 billion in its first year alone. This is according to my Nintendo Life. It says Pokemon trading card game Pocket celebrated its first anniversary last week, and it has seemingly been quite the moneymaker. According to a new estimate from App Magic, which accounts for in-app spending from Google Play and the App Store, TCG Pocket pulled almost 1.3 billion in its first year alone, making it the highest grossing debut for a Pokemon mobile app to date. All I can think of when I hear this is people going, "Yo, why don't I can literally hear it. I can see the text on Twitter, on Reddit. Why don't they take some of that money and add textures in Pokemon Legends ZA?" Like I can literally hear it. It's a big chunk of change. A big chunk of change for Pokemon trading card game. I don't think I spent any real money in that game. I don't think. I could be wrong. I did. I'd have to go back and look. I may have. I think I signed up for like the membership, but then I think I canceled it. But I can't remember off the top of my head. I have to go back. But they're doing some crazy numbers over there. The Pokemon bug has bit me so bad. So bad. I'm loving ZA. I've been tempted to re-download the TCG Pocket because I had a good time with it, and I think it's pretty fun, honestly. Pulling packs. I've been buying some physical packs, which is kind of crazy. And so I don't know. I've been really enjoying Pokemon. It's been getting me those dopamine hits, So crazy to see the kind of numbers that they're doing. Very curious on how, what's the future hold for this app, and just how far they take it. It's super, super crazy. A couple more headlines here. It says, of course, they shouldn't really come as a big surprise. TCG Pocket racked up over 10 million downloads in its first 48 hours on the market, and would quickly reported that the app was pulling in around $3 million a day as it got off the start line. Absolutely insane. Just absolutely insane. Crazy, crazy numbers there. Well, get your grain of salt ready. But a trailer for Super Mario Galaxy movie will debut this month. It's claimed. Some are saying ahead of Wicked for Good. Here's the tweet from My Time to Shine. Hello. It says, "Scoop, the Mario Galaxy trailer will be attached to Wicked for Good, meaning it will release online before November 21st. Okay, well, I'm ready. Do you guys think we see another direct? And you can let me know in the comments on this one. I feel like there's there should be a direct mini that covers the movie, covers Metroid, and then maybe a little bit more on Fever, and then a few things that aren't announced yet. I don't necessarily think that's happening, but I do feel like they have some things that they could talk about. Now, maybe they'll do the trailer of the movie and then because they did a direct, if I remember correctly, they did a direct for the last movie. I think I'd have to go back and double check. I feel like they did. I know they've had it in the directs, right? But I really feel like, as we're seeing on screen right now, Metroid Prime 4, it needs marketing. It needs a direct, and we'll talk about it more at the end of the show here as our main topic. But I'm curious on all this stuff. There's a lot coming out. It's a bit of a crazy time for Nintendo with everything they got going with movies and games, and so I'm curious on how it's all going to play out. But it's very exciting that this month we could be seeing that trailer. I am beyond stoked for this movie, and just I put on the first one quite often and still see new Easter eggs and things that I might have missed the first time, or just little nods, little things here and there that just they just put a smile on my face. There's so much fan service. And I love that. I love that. So before November 21st, that's when Wicked for Good comes out. So we'll have to wait and see if this one's true. Hopefully. Well, if you're a Warframe fan, the Switch 2 version is officially launching in 2026. And it looks like there's a quote, maybe. I'm looking through the article here. It says it looks good and runs so well. Maybe let's see, there is a YouTube video. So Digital Extreme has been teasing Warframe Switch 2 version a few weeks now. And in a recent dev stream, the studio revealed that it shouldn't have long to wait before we can get our hands on it. Accompanied by yet more footage of the game's action, Digital Extreme announced that the Switch 2 native build of Warframe will arrive at some point in 2026. There are no specifics outside of that initial window. We should add, though, the team has stated they'll be releasing it as early as we possibly can in the new year. The fresh footage of the game running handheld on Switch 2 with DLSS enabled, and we have to say it looks pretty solid. So the quote comes from the author here. It's still a dev build, and it gives good indication of load times and how things will fare in close combat. So super cool. Warframe is a game I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that I would jump into it like I did Destiny, and 1,500 hours later, I'm finally playing Mario Kart again. So, but for fans of that series that have been waiting, super cool to see that it's going to be getting the Switch 2 treatment, and it will be out potentially very soon, which is great. I have been playing. Jasmine and I have been playing the Fortnite collab that just launched the new season. The Simpsons. You're playing what looks like Springfield. I'm running around as Bart. She's running around as Marge. We're having a great time with it. It's a smaller map, only 80 people, all cell shaded. The bus driver is Otto, so you thank Otto when you're dropping in. I'm having a fantastic time with it. Quick plug: if you guys end up using the store for Fortnite, make sure to use N64 Josh as your creator code. I really appreciate it. But really having a good time with this season. Made it all the way to. We both made it to level 200 last season to unlock everything. So playing way too much Fortnite, but having a great time with it. And I've been seeing a ton of rumors, so grain of salt this as well, but potentially Harry Potter is coming, and then SpongeBob and a handful of others as well. Like I was like, they've got some collabs lined up for days if these are all accurate. You never know with this kind of stuff. So again, grain of salt, but just so much cool stuff happening in the land of Fortnite. Nintendo Music updated to version 1.4.0. There's a full list of patch notes. I just want to focus on one thing. So it's the 1 year anniversary. And one of the things that they did was for Animal Crossing. Okay. It says timed in with the big Animal Crossing Nintendo Switch 2 edition news. It adds a button to the playlist from the game. So here's the full rundown with a look courtesy of Oatmeal Dome on X. And basically, it adds a button to the Animal Crossing New Horizon playlist to automatically start at the track for the current time and activate extended playback. So you can find a sunny day, a rainy day, a snowy day, and then also that time of day. And so some pretty cool stuff that they're adding to Nintendo Music, especially if you're an Animal Crossing fan. So some really cool stuff there. All right, one more headline before we jump into the main topic, which will be Metroid Prime 4. Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment in-store demos are now available. I checked my Target. It was just a video. This was written on Saturday, so there are some out there. And if you've been able to play it, let me know in the comments. Select Best Buy, GameStop, Target, and Walmart stores do have, and this was a tweet from Nintendo or a post on X saying Hyrule is calling. I checked my Target. It did not have one, unfortunately, because I wanted to go hands-on and let you guys know what I thought. Every time I see this game, it just looks so beautiful, and I can't wait for Thursday. It just looks incredible. and I'm gonna get lost in it. I gotta finish ZA before this one comes out. So you guys hold me accountable on this. Ask me how I'm doing on it. All right. Ask me how I'm doing. But yeah, if you had a chance to play it, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Well, let's get into our main topic of the show, which is going to be Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Okay, well, Nintendo tweeted out a 7-second video of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And it was like, okay, here we go. We're starting the marketing push. We are starting the marketing push for this game. Now, I thought it was new footage, honestly, because I mean, 7 seconds. I'm like, I didn't go and like check it with someone else. Of course, immediately was corrected as soon as I posted my video saying that they were starting the marketing. The first comment from looks like Dip Peking says it's not new footage, literally from the last trailer. My bad. My bad. I should have been paying attention. So forgive me on that one. J Pillow, because I asked the question, who's picking this up? And it says, I'll be picking it up. I played Metroid from the very beginning. That is from looks like J.I. Pillow. Super cool. I'm with you. Been playing Metroid since the NES days. Love the Prime games. And I think I'm going to be doing a special show episode with Nady Nay talking Prime. He's playing it for the first time, and I think it's going to be an interesting perspective because there are some things in the first game that can be very frustrating because they're very old, like old game design tropes that like we've done away with. But when you have to go back to a game like that, there can be moments of frustration, no question. So gonna be a fun conversation with him. Mustaches and Coffee, they said, can't wait. I said that's what I like to hear. They followed up with its Dread was such a treat. This has been years in the making, literally, and looks amazing. I couldn't agree more. Very, very excited for this one. And N. Smith says this will be the first game I play on my Switch in over a year. I can't I can't wait. And I just refreshed the comments and I have one more here from Patty Owl says I've been saving up for a Switch 2 just to play Metroid Prime 4 on. I'm buzzing. So let's go. Let's go. I love seeing some hype for this. I'm super super excited for this one, like super excited. I'm gonna lose myself in this. I plan on throwing on some nice headphones, playing in the dark as much as I can, maybe just some RGBs lighting up the room, and and I can't wait for just the sense of isolation and exploration that comes along with playing a Metroid game. I'm very very excited for this one. I'm just so so stoked. I cannot wait till we see more because I know there's a lot of people on the fence, but I think this thing is looking gorgeous. There are some like leaks, rumors out there that like they already working on the fifth one, which I do hope to be the case because I want to see what Metroid Prime could look like strictly on Switch 2, not being held back by Switch 1. I completely get it. The install base, there's been talks of this game forever from the OG Switch. So it's good that it's in both places. No complaints here. But seeing what we are seeing on the Switch 1 game running on the Switch 2, like Retro's doing some magic here. And I'm looking forward to it. Really excited. Can't wait to play. Probably won't have those same frustrating moments that I was talking about with Metroid Prime. Like the main thing is when you forget to save. You forget to save, you've done all this stuff, then you've got to go back. Hopefully they have a good save system in this. Hopefully there's a good fast travel system in this. And it's just gonna essentially have it's weird to say quality of life, but like just modern, just to be like a more modern experience is kind of what I'm hoping for. I do think the save thing kind of has like a bit of a risk and reward. Like, okay, I just got this item. Should I go save so that I can make sure I keep it, or do I keep going and see, and kind of risk it? So that's obviously That's obviously going to be up to the player, but I'm curious on how they're going to do it with this one. And I do, I look at modern games now, and like you can pretty much save whenever you want. Pokemon, you save whenever you want. Zelda, save whenever you want. So maybe they do away with the saves in this one. We'll just have to wait and see. Nonetheless, I cannot wait. I do like we're seeing the intro right here where Samus is doing some some dog fighting. I hope we get to do this kind of stuff. Like this, that would be super cool. Like I think it was Halo Reach that we did a little bit of dog fighting, kind of like little Star Fox mixed in with the FPS. I'd be completely down for that. Completely down for that. So a lot of cool stuff here. This is just a single player experience. I'm going to throw this out here into the universe. Since we know this isn't multiplayer, I would love to see a standalone multiplayer experience for Metroid. I've been saying it for years. I would love to essentially create our own bounty hunter. Don't play as Samus. Get different bounties. Run them together with your friends, kind of like strikes in Destiny, or run them against other hunters. So you essentially log in at the same time at different areas and then try to run to the objective to be the first one. We've all seen like episodes of like Mandalorian where, you're duking it out with another bounty hunter trying to get the bounty. That would be such a fantastic way to play Metroid. A fantastic way to play Metroid, where you literally run into other bounty hunters who are actual people and fighting for the same bounty. That would be so fun. So fun. Let me know what you think of that in the comments. Again, I'll be reading them on tomorrow's episode. I'll have a little section for, just from the comment section. So make sure to let me know what you think. That is going to do it for today's show. Guys, I'm so sorry about my voice. My throat is just absolutely burning right now. I appreciate all of you so very much, and we will see you in the next one. Bye now. Nope. Even though I'm not feeling well, you still have to play it loud. So play it loud.